In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Anakin Skywalker for the Revenge of the Sith line. He's figure number 2. So this action figure holds a very special place in my heart because I've had him even before Episode 3 was released. I got him around April of 2005, I think it was. And he's seen a lot over the years. And I think he's held up pretty good over the years. I know a lot of people don't like this action figure, or I've heard a lot of criticisms of it. And he did massively peg warm at the time. And I suppose compared to many of the Anakin action figures we have now, and even in the 3 3/4 inch line, he's probably towards the lower end of the tiers as far as sculpting work and features go. But I still really like this, and I think it's an Anakin that no one can really go wrong having in their collection. He's very easy to get hold of, very inexpensive. You can probably find him for like $10 or free shipping. So if you're new to collecting and you're looking to have an Anakin for your collection, and you don't know where to start, or you're kind of on a budget for it, I think this is a perfect Anakin to take a look at. So the package that I have here is actually the one that I used for the Polis Masson, or it is the Polis Masson's package, and I just cut it off, and I'm going to use as the background for all my Episode 3 action figures. And he does come with the, at least I do recall he came with the same pamphlet that I showed with the Polis Masson, where it just advertises the same action figures. And this is the Anakin we're talking about right here with the lightsaber attack. So we'll just jump right into the action figure. So as you can see, his lightsaber here has seen some wear over the years. Paint has mostly worn off on it, even on his hand a little bit. But it's still holding up really good. It's a very robust action figure. So the face sculpt I think is pretty good for the most part. There's definitely much better looking Anakins out there, I think, but this one is pretty good for what it is, especially if you look at it from certain angles. This angle is pretty good. That angle is pretty good. And I believe this was the very first Revenge of the Sith Anakin that we got. I don't think, at least 3 3/4 inch, this was the very first one. I don't think any of the 12 inch or anything else. I don't even think Lego beat Hasbro to it. Or it was all around the same time though. But for a very first attempt, this is really good. It does have a scar there. Looks a little pinkish. Or peach colored. Very nice detailing in his suit. His brown pants and darkish color boots. And he stands really good on his own too. I never used a stand for this action figure, and he never did come with a stand. But for the most part, he stands pretty good. So one of the major complaints about this action figure is the use of action features. So if you squeeze his legs, he'll swing around rapidly. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Action features never really bothered me too much as long as the features are hidden. Like a lot of the Attack of Clones action figures, they'd have a wheel on their back or a lever or something like that. I don't like that. But for this Anakin, I'm not too bothered by it. It's pretty well hidden, and you could barely even tell he has any action features about him. But it does make his right arm a little loose. Pretty much if you don't have his left arm or his left hand holding his lightsaber, you can't really get a hold like that. It's just going to droop on you. While this one has a little bit more of a sturdy articulation to it. And speaking of articulation, he does have a swivel at the neck, and he does have hinged shoulders technically, even with this action feature arm. This is technically a hinge at the elbow there for both elbows, and there's a swivel wrist for this one. Nothing for this wrist. I suppose he technically has a swivel waist, but it's tied into the action feature. But you could rotate him around if you want. You're just going to hear the clicking sound there with the action feature. Then swivel hips, and no articulation in knees or ankles. So the articulation's alright. Definitely not up to modern standards, but I think it's good enough to get the point across. And you can put this Anakin in most of the action poses you would want. Does have a scar on his cheek there. Not sure how well that turns up on the camera. So for his accessories, so there are some variants of this action figure. I believe there's 3 of them. So I'm pretty sure the one I have here is the very first variant. And the first variant comes with an alternate hand with a red lightsaber. And that's because probably when Hasbro started making this action figure, they were led to believe, or at least there was some concept art out there, that Anakin was supposed to get a red lightsaber in the middle of Revenge of the Sith, and then shortly after he's proclaimed Darth Vader. I think the story goes that Darth Sidious takes Anakin down in some secret Sith temple underneath the Jedi temple on Coruscant, and then there he's given a red lightsaber or a red crystal, one of the two, to swap out for his Jedi lightsaber. So probably when Hasbro made this action figure initially, that's what they were alluding to, or at least that's what they were thinking was going to end up being the case. But as we know, that ended up not being the case, and it never made it into the final cut. All we have is some art of it out there. So then they did another variant a little while later, and instead of this extra hand for him with this red lightsaber, they instead included Count Dooku's lightsaber, which I don't have that variant at all. I'm just borrowing this from the Revenge of the Sith Count Dooku. And obviously you can reenact that very infamous scene. Like that. And his arms articulate very well to that. So I imagine Hasbro had that in mind when they were designing this action figure. So between that, and I believe the third variant is somewhat of a variation of the first release. Maybe it's a slightly different color lightsaber. And this hilt here, I'm only including this hilt because I'm pretty sure mine did not come with a lightsaber hilt. But the third release with Count Dooku's lightsaber did, I think. So I just include that there for picture purposes. But as far as swapping his hands, very easy to do. You just pop his hand off like that. Put it on there. So you can tell I haven't really used this red lightsaber very much. It almost looks brand new. And he has a little bit of wear there. But ever since I've had this action figure, I never really did use it at the time. And he looks pretty cool with a red lightsaber. I think that'd be an interesting topic to explore, to see that particular scene that didn't get made expanded. Maybe fan-made or AI generated or something. Maybe someday we'll see it come to fruition. And then, of course, Anakin's not always going to hold on to a lightsaber, so he does have an opened hand here. And then you can basically just do this with him. Yeah. But these days I pretty much have them displayed at all times with the blue lightsaber. And of course, Unignited Hilt can plug in his belt. Even if he did not come with one, you can always take a spare and put it right there. Other than that, I think that's all I can really tell you about this Anakin Skywalker action figure. So would I recommend it for your collection? Of course I would. Even if you already have some better Anakins for your collection, maybe like this one for example, I still think he holds up really well. And he's fairly easy to get hold of, or like I said, $5, $10, $15 for one. So even if you do get it and you don't like it, oh well, you're out like $10. Free shipping. Big deal. And if you can go to, or if you have access to go to comic book shops, or you have some good ones in your area, I would not doubt if there's at least one or two of those Anakins sitting around at them, because they peg warm heavily back in the day, and even to this day they still peg warm at the comic book shops. But it's really good. I'm very impressed with it. Like I mentioned, it's always going to have a special place in my heart, because at this time I've had it for over 18 years at this point, and I hope I have it for many, many, many more years to come. And it still holds up really well in my collection. So anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more reviews in the future. There will be plenty more to come. And if you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I greatly appreciate your support. Check out some of the links in the description as well. Thanks for watching.